Welcome back everyone to Squirrel's Workshop. Today, I hope to get this chimney put on the wood stove. That's what's left of the old chimney. A few 90s there. I think the cap's still good. Yeah. The trick is, this is going to be a temporary thing for maybe like a year or two, so we're going to go through that window there. Not through the glass, mind you. We'll open it up, put a frame in there with a piece of sheet metal, and poke the chimney through. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so let's try this voiceover thing that I see in a lot of YouTube videos now. Tell me if you like it or not. Right now, I'm going to do a couple videos this way, as I did a whole bunch of hyperlapse just to learn how to do better filmmaking and, you know. So, what you see is some old chimney that I had that used to go straight up through the ceiling. That had to come down when I replaced the roof on the shop. So you can see I'm drilling out a couple of old rivets from this custom-made starter collar. I could not find an 8-inch starter collar to fit this wood stove when I first put it up. So I made my own. Rolled a little bit of sheet metal, riveted some sections together and made it work. And now as I attempt to make it work again, it doesn't seem to fit quite the same. Or maybe it never fit that well to begin with. So let's get that window cleared out, get that plastic pulled back, otherwise it's going to be flapping in my face the whole time. Yeah, that window is pretty gross. It's an old aluminum frame, single pane. It's water damaged, the frame, the trim around it's water damaged. It all needs to go. Measure up the frame, cut some boards. These are old leftover pieces of cedar from when I was building some trellises, and they have a nice 1/2-inch wide groove down the center. I figure that will fit some sheet metal real nice. I can screw it in place. And of course, I didn't take my camera with me when I moved from one side of the shop to the other, so you missed me dropping those two boards out of the windowsill onto the floor behind the wood stove. Do a little test fit and try and find a couple of boards to go vertical. Sort through the scrap pile. Try one piece. No, let's pick another one. Nope, not long enough. Hey look, it's more of that cedar that's got the groove down the middle. That might work. It's not quite the same width, but it might work. How many of those do I have? A few. There's too many back there. They're all going to get repurposed for something. For now, I'll take the two that are the same size, take them over to the saw and cut them to length. And let's just toss those scraps on the floor. I'm sure I'll pick them up later, right? Guess what I didn't do? I didn't account for the ends of the boards meeting up. So I gotta take a few inches off of all 4 boards. Classic. Measure 4 times, cut 6 times. Little temporary workspace. Line them up. Do a little test fit. And who here has used pocket screws? They really seem to be one of the easiest, laziest ways to build frames like this. If you do it right, they work really well. This was not an expensive kit. It's the same brand that everybody seems to buy when they're starting out. All you gotta do is set your tools correctly. Grab your favorite drill. Try not to drill your fingers. I usually run one screw through just to make sure that there's enough sticking out the backside of the pocket hole that it's going to connect well. Because some of these won't. Some of them are going to land right in that groove, and I don't even know it yet, but I'll figure it out. Try and keep the window shut because it's cold out today. Those gloves are really helping out. Even though they're not the thick insulated ones, they still make a difference. And as you watch me drill these holes, you're watching me make a mistake that, it's not a good one. If you're making anything truly structural, you do not want to drill your holes so that the screws are going into the end grain of your other board, like I'm doing right now. That's not going to hold that well. I should have put the pocket holes in the other boards. One more test fit. Looks pretty good. Get an idea of where the elbow is going to turn and go through the window. Now, I was going to use a piece of sheet metal, but I don't have any good ones. So we'll use a piece of hardy backer. I really didn't want the mailman to ring the doorbell and wake up the tiny humans sleeping right now. It's nap time for them. So this piece of hardy backer is almost perfect. It's slightly too wide. I know it's not really the ideal material here, but it'll work. It's fireproof, it's waterproof. I can paint it. Yes, it is fireproof. I even tried it just to make sure. This is the same stuff that's under the tile, under the wood stove in the house. And it's also behind the tile in our bathrooms. It's pretty good stuff. I think I had that torch on there for a couple minutes and really didn't do much damage. It smelled a bit, but it didn't hurt it at all. So the only tool I had handy to trim off the excess hardy backer is an old chisel. Don't feel too bad for that chisel. It's seen a long, hard life already. It's not gonna notice that cement board. The chisels you see on the wall back there are much sharper, and I take much better care of them. At least I try. Yes, fits much better now. Except the bottom. I did not line the grooves up, and I don't want to redo it because I like the wood sitting flush against the window opening, so we're just going to take a little bit out of that groove with a chisel and drop that board right back in there. Better, not great. Still got a spot where debris can collect on the outside. Maybe a little bit of flashing or something later. And I have enough hanging off the end here that I can just score it and snap it. That's really the best way to cut hardy backer. Drop it in there. Perfect. Except I should have made it a ½ inch taller so it would fit into the groove of the top board. Oh well, it'll be fine. I'll try and get this elbow on here straight. Try and get this collar on the bottom straight so we can make some marks on the hardy backer where we need to put a hole. Well, like I said earlier, that starter collar on the bottom is not cooperating, so a couple of tiny little sheet metal screws will fix that right up. I was just going to wing it with a Sharpie, but I decided I have a square. I might as well use the square. Find all, 4 cardinal points of the circle, and then I can bring it down and trace it out. Now, what to cut it with? I don't have a circle cutter, and I wouldn't use it on this hardy board. If I put a piece of wood behind it as a backer, I can use a chisel and carve it away. It worked okay. One thing I realized by doing this hyperlapse this way is you're not getting to hear any of the sounds that I make with the tools. Some people really like that. Maybe in the future I'll figure out a better way to do this hyperlapse. Or just a better way to... Remember when I said that having a backer would work? If you don't have a backer, you just punch through it and leave a big old nasty rip on the backside. Go outside and do a little test fit real quick. See if it'll stick out far enough out through the window. And I'm not going to make you watch me fight that piece of stovepipe trying to roll it up. Go outside and set this up. Make sure we're going to clear the roof by enough. And I don't know why I thought I could measure this way, but it was a dumb idea. Let's put that tape on the other side. There we go. I got an estimate for how long my bracket needs to be coming off the wall. And I think this stainless tray is the donor for our brackets. That pen is garbage. Should go right in the trash after this. So we didn't quite finish this off today like I was hoping. Got started kind of late. That'll get cut up into some nice big brackets to go on the outside of the building to hold the stovepipe up. And I need to get some sealant for the exterior to seal where those sections go together so we don't get a lot of water in here. It does rain a bit around here. And spend the rest of the time out here cleaning up the mess I did make today. If not, clean up the mess that was left here from last time. Yeah.